Namaste everyone, I hope you're well. Welcome back to another session of Yoga with Reena. Today we're going to be working on our mobility and our flexibility. So remember, we can't have one without the other, and I don't want anyone to think I'm not flexible, so I can't do these postures. It's nothing like that. We want to just try our hardest. We want to do what we can. Okay, and we want to build up to it. Okay, so we need to have a regular discipline practice to make sure that we're able to do these poses. So as always, making sure that we're being careful with our health and safety. So in bare feet, so we're not slipping on our mats, making sure we've got enough space around us, and also making sure that we're being careful in the poses to not have any pain, or it shouldn't be pushed to a level of discomfort. Just a nice stretch and just easing our way through. Okay, so let's make a start. We can start by sitting in Sukhasana and placing one leg on top like this, chin up and chest up, and opening that stomach up and making sure there's no dip in the base of that spine. We want to make sure everything is nice and straight and the hips are really, really relaxed. So palms facing up, we can take our Jinmaya Mudra with our fingers, thumb and index, eyes closed and mouth closed, and just having a few moments to come into the room and into the bodies, inhaling and exhaling from the noses. Remember to be spending more time in those exhales. Breathing in and breathing out. So much is happening with just an inhale and an exhale. When we breathe in, the chest comes up and the stomach comes out. When we breathe out, the stomach comes in and the chest comes down. When we breathe in, the cool air enters our nose. When we breathe out, the heated air leaves the nose. And if we're really concentrating, other pulses in our body start to come alive. Maybe you can feel one where your thumb and index fingers are touching. But this happens once we have enough quiet in our system. Let's finish our last inhale and exhale. And we'll start with 30 rounds, 30 pushes of Bhastrika, which is the inhaling and forceful exhaling with our hands moving up and down. Those of you doing this for the first time, please make sure the palms are open at the top and you're fully pulling everything out as you come down. Any blood pressure, migraine, hypertension, any patients, just make sure we are either not doing this practice or doing it very slowly. If you want to watch for the first few, by all means, you can. Thumb and index finger inside the palms, thumbs overlapped over them. Go for 30 pushes, making sure the back is straight, the chin is up, and every part of the face is nice and relaxed. In your own time, you may begin. Finish up your last few, and once you finish, you can place your palms facing up on your knees, chins up and chests up. feeling lots of heat rushing through the body. The heart is pumping, but we're not out of breath. Very interesting the way that works. So if we've done this properly, we've pumped everything out of the nose. And these practices are also very good because they can work your core as well. They tone also. But the most important thing, and the reason why I chose us to do the Bhasikla practice, chose for us to do that today, is because it does make your body very, very mobile. If it's raining outside, or even if you're feeling lazy or something and you don't want to get out, this is a good practice that you can do to get your body pumped, get it active. And it's a good way to burn calories as well, believe it or not. And you would have noticed that when I pulled everything down, even as I pull in now, you can hear that there is a big jerk in my voice. So we're causing more harm than benefit if we end up stopping halfway and holding it in, because we've breathed in quite strong. We want to make sure we're breathing out just the same, actually more so, because exhale is more important. Okay, so if we just relax, and if I can ask you to bring the soles of your feet together like this, and then just interlock your hands over your toes. If you can't quite do that, you're welcome to hold your ankles, but important thing is to keep that abdomen up and that chest up. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to do a slightly different breathing practice now. So we'll breathe in, and then we're going to do 3 exhales, okay? And with those 3 exhales, we're going to loosen up, yeah? So we're going to make the hips, we're going to make the inner thighs, we're going to make them much more mobile, and we're going to improve the flexibility that way. And the focus of today is making sure those exhales are coming when you're doing the poses. So the poses will be done slightly differently today. We will be holding the poses, but we'll be doing that with full exhales. So if I ask you to just sit up nice and straight, okay, and if I just watch one, so we're going to go. So you could see that I was separating my exhales into 3. And when we do that, we actually end up exhaling more than we think, because the first time, what you think you've taken everything out, you've got a second chance and a third chance almost to do so. So let's have a go at doing that. Once you've done your 3, if you're still kind of moving up and down a bit, that's completely fine. In fact, I think we should just start lightly by doing this. Now, Patangasana is fantastic. It's one of the best things you could do for mobility and flexibility, because not only is it good for your upper body, but it works your lower body as well. Lower body, you can probably feel it working, but upper body, and especially the spine, this is very, very good for. And remember, I always say if our spines aren't healthy, then we aren't going to be either. We need to make sure the back is in good working order. Okay, so we'll do this 3 times, okay, just lightly, and then as you exhale, you just hit 3 times, yeah? You just move those legs up and down 3 times. So in your own time, and then make sure everything's come out, and then second round. And then breathe in. Good. Now just keep going a little bit more in Patangasana. Can interlock, keep those heads up, keep those chests up. Okay, and I want to keep doing this for a good amount of time, because we want to make sure that we are making those hips nice and strong. Okay, now keep that butterfly going, and we're actually going to try and lift those arms up. Now the moment you lift your arms up, we want to make sure you don't create that curve in the abdomen. We want to make sure we're sitting up nice and straight. Okay, so chin up and chest up, and even if you can only just touch your hands onto the floor or just take them off your feet, that's fine. What matters is those butterflies, those legs are still going. Okay, and if you can't hit the floor, that's fine. We're not expecting to see results overnight. We want to build up to this eventually. Okay, so nice and slowly, however much you're able to, we're going to start to take those legs out and those arms out, chins up, chest up, and do this with a big, big smile. And we're going to up the challenge a little bit more. So if you think this is a good enough challenge for you, then stay here. That's completely fine. And then if you're able to, you can start raising your arms up. Good. Okay, and then see if you can hold the pose. So keep that butterfly up, keep that chin up, keep that chest up. Nice big smiles. Stretch and get your triceps as far back as you can. And then I want you to exhale, and as you exhale, just go down as far as you can. Now guys, I'm not asking everyone to touch their head onto the floor. What I'm asking is to come down and really feel that stretch underneath, yeah? So really just go for that stretch, even if it's just a few bounces, really going for that stretch. And we're going to bring that right leg in, okay? Bring that right leg in, and we're going to pick this left leg up now, yeah? So if you would like to hold in the manner that I'm doing, you can. And if you're able to, you can put your left foot inside your right elbow. Yeah, so and then the other hand comes around and you're cradling it like a little baby, and we're just going to go like this. Yeah, we're going to go side to side, okay? Really just twisting our hips. You can probably feel your body, your bottom rubbing against the floor, but really maximize that hip turn, yeah? Really go for it. This is, again, both of these together work very well for mobility and flexibility. We're going to bring that leg down and we're going to swap it over. Again, if you want to just pick it up, make sure that chest and that abdomen is up. You're welcome to just roll and rock to the side like that. And if you're able to put it inside, you can put it inside, yeah? And try not to be disheartened if you can't quite get your leg in and do it in the way that I am. It's completely fine. What matters is our body is working up to this, yeah? Really working up to it and doing what we can. Yeah, really doing what we can. Good. And then place that leg down and working from lower all the way up. We're going to do our tiger breathing, the tiger stretch now. Okay, so I want us to just place our hands a little bit about hip distance, maybe a little bit more if we can. Okay, with our knees in line with our palms and our feet nice and relaxed. Okay, and making sure that our back is nice and straight. So we're going to take a nice deep breath in, and try not to finish your breath straight away. Finish it once your head has reached the top. So inhaling and coming all the way up and making a huge dip inside the bottom or the middle part of your spine. And as you exhale, curve yourself in, tuck your chin in, tuck your chest all the way in, and arch your shoulders. And then breathing in and coming up. Breathing out and coming down. Keeping that jaw and those eyebrows relaxed. Last one, breathing in. Okay, and this time I want you to just lift that head up and then just come onto your toes. And then as you exhale, come all the way in, and then push off your knees. Okay, stay on your toes, and we're going to do Parvatasana now. Yeah, we want to make sure our back is nice and mobile. So tuck your chin all the way in. Okay, nothing on the legs just yet. Just stretching it back all the way, tucking your chin all the way in, trying to look right in between, all the way up. And if you're able to, I want you to try and get your heels nice and flat, and then tuck yourself all the way in, chin into chest. And now we're gonna just bring that stretch into the calf. So you can see my head is up, and I'm actually keeping my feet flat, and I'm just bringing my legs in front. Yeah, sorry, I'm bringing my head slightly up, and I'm bringing my chest in front without taking my heels off. So if you're doing this correctly, you'll feel a really nice stretch coming right up the back of the legs. Okay, lift that head and then place those knees onto the floor. Relax those legs. And we're going to come into Balasana now. So we're going to continue that stretch of the spine, but we're going to let only our chest so my knees are up. You can see they're a nice right angle. Yeah, keep everything nice and sharp. And then we're going to place our chin onto the floor. Yep. And we're going to try and stretch our arms as far forward as we can. But when we're doing this, guys, we want to make sure that there is no pressure on the arms at all. So shoulders are nice and relaxed. And keeping your chin on the floor, really just going for that stretch. And you can feel a nice stretch on the back as well. So we're opening everything up here. Take a nice deep breath in. And come back into Balasana. So now we're going to sit completely down. My hips are as flat as I possibly can. Yep, all the way. You can see, yeah, making sure that there's no gap, and we're not lifting our hips up here. We were before, but we're making sure that they're not now. So in Balasana, we're just keeping our head down, shoulders relaxed, taking a nice deep breath in and out. It's a really good way to open up those back muscles, yeah? And now we're just going to come on to working the back of the neck, the shoulders, and also the legs at the same time as well. So I want you to be very careful when you do this. So we're going to do Malasana now, but just a slightly different version, okay? So I'm going to do this facing you, but we'll do this, we're going to be in this position for quite some time, yeah? In the squatting position for quite some time. So I want you to make sure you're being very careful, and if at any point you need to come out of the posture, please do. Okay, so in Malasana, what we're going to do is we're just going to come and sit in our little squatting position. Okay, now if you open your feet up and try, and whether you want to do this either on your toes or either on the flat feet, that's fine. But we're going to start on our toes, yeah? We're going to start on our toes. If you can't put them down flat, that's completely fine. So in Malasana, I want you to come onto your toes, and I want you to make sure your elbows are just on the inside of our knees, okay? Now what you're going to do, can you see that my hands are slightly in line with my hands are slightly in line with my feet, okay? And if I need to adjust, then I can. Remember, everybody's body shapes and sizes, they're all different. So provided that you're comfortable enough to do this, okay? Now right now, my weight is even. I'm sharing the weight between my hands and my feet. But what I want to do is I want to tilt forward, and I actually want to put more weight on my hands. Okay, so I want to put more weight onto my hands, and I'm using my elbows as I push out to widen my stance. And I want to get my chest parallel to the floor. Okay, so just in that squat, but doing a forward bend. It's almost like we're preparing for bird pose, yeah? So keeping your chest parallel to the floor, no weight on the toes, put all the weight into your hands. Okay, be careful if you've got any problems with your joints or anything like that, and really just enjoying that stretch down into the middle, okay? So let's hold that pose. Do this with a nice big smile, okay? Get your chest parallel to the floor, feel that stretch, and then nice and slowly we're going to come all the way up, and now we're going to shift the weight back into our feet now, yeah? So shift the weight, take the weight off the hands, give them a little rotation if you need to. And if you're on your toes, fine, absolutely fine. You can do the same thing, okay? We're going to take our right hand and we're going to place it into the middle now. So no real weight on that hand. The weight is completely on our feet. And we're going to just lift that left arm all the way up, okay? Now, what we want to do when you're doing this is keeping that weight inside here, or either on your toes is absolutely fine, okay? Right now, the hand is in the middle, chin up and chest up. And then we're going to try, okay, and go into an absolute right angle. Yeah, it doesn't matter if that hand comes off. In fact, you can let it just relax, and we're feeling all of that stretch come up the side. Yeah, all of that stretch come up the side. You can place it onto your knee if you want, if it's getting in the way, and keep everything really straight. So stretch all of this, chins up, chests up, nice big smiles. Try not to dip that chin, and we're going to breathe in and breathe out and come down and place that hand back down into the middle. Now the reason why I'm asking you to put it into the middle is because I want it to be optional. Everybody's arms different lengths, again, shapes and sizes. So if it's comfortable putting it into the middle, leave it there. If you want to leave it hanging, or if you want to place it on your knee, that's also fine. So let's try the other side. Okay, taking a nice deep breath, this time opposite hand comes all the way up. Big smiles, ready to take that stretch up, inhale. And as you exhale, we're coming all the way over, and stretching that finger. Imagine somebody's got your hand and they're pulling you all the way over. And I'm sure we can feel all that heat on that side of the ankle because the weight has now shifted. Before we were shifting it forward and back, and now it's side to side. So hold it there. 3, 2, stretch, and 1, and come all the way down with an exhale. And if you're on your toes, I want you to try and get your feet flat. And if you're on your feet flat, I want you to come and up onto your toes. Take a nice big stretch up with our spines, arms all the way up, chins up, chests up, and exhale and come down, and just very lightly, just go for a few bounces, okay, and get all those ankles warmed up. I'm sure you can feel the stretch in the calves and the ankles as you're doing this, and just nice and calmly let those legs completely relax out in front. Well done. And give those ankles a little wave. So you'll notice about the postures today that we're working different body parts at the same time. And we're going to do the same in our next posture, right? So next pose is going to be Uttanasana. Excuse me. So Uttanasana, so that's a forward bend, yeah? So we're going to be doing a forward bend, but I also want you to try and do this with an exhale as well. So give the ankles a little rest, okay? In fact, I think what we'll do is we'll do Ustrasana, we'll give them a little rest, and then we'll return to that, okay? So any knee problems or any back pain, please be careful of this posture. So we haven't actually done Ustrasana in a long time. This is a camel pose. It's very good for our immune system as well. So not just strengthening our knees and the mobility and flexibility of our spine, but very good for your throat. And any posture where the lungs are really exposed and open, it's very good for the immune system. Okay, so open those knees out and I'll give you a few options, okay? So either you're doing this with both hands at the back like this, and if you're not able to, you're gonna keep both of your hands just sort of right where your kidney area is in the middle and using your hands fully open to cover as much surface area as you can to help with your bend. And please remember that Ustrasana is a camel pose. So a camel hump is a curve, okay? We want to make sure we're not tilting back. We want to make sure we're pushing our hips out. If you're not able to do the full pose, please feel free to just sit like this and bring your chest up and your chin up and bring your head as far back as you can. So you're welcome to do it like that as well. So just a few variations for those of us who are not able to come up onto the knees and do this. Okay, so coming up onto our knees, being nice and careful, nice and stable. And remember, the golden rule here is making sure the hips are in front, yeah? And they're in front of our knees and they're not behind our knees like this, okay? And that tends to happen. And that happens when we push our body too far. So this is why I say we want to make sure we're using our hands first. And if you're not able, if you're comfortable using this, then that's when we can take the arms back. But in our attempt to try and touch, can you see what I did there? In my attempt to try and touch, I shifted back. But what I want to do is if I bring my arms from all the way upwards, then it'll be much better, yeah? So your choice, you can either do this just pushing your hips forward or you can do it with your hands. Now, I'm going to start with my hips, okay? And then you can do as per your body permits, as you're comfortable, okay? So nice and slowly, as you breathe in, okay, just push your hips forward and let your head fall back. Okay, and then nice and slowly come back up. And coming up is just as important, yeah? And this posture is very interesting because you inhale when you go down and you inhale also when you come up. Now, if you thought that was a good enough challenge for you, then feel free and do the same, but I want you to hold the pose when you get there. Not your breath, just the pose. And if you would like to, you can have a go at doing the full version with me, okay? So we're going to take the right arm all the way up, push those hips out with the left, okay? And hold on. So my stomach, yeah? My stomach is in front. My hips and my stomach is in front. And now I'm going to take my opposite hand and I'm going to roll it around and I'm going to let my head fall back. Nice and relaxed. Hold the pose. Big smiles. Nice deep breath in. Lift your head up. Use both hands. Use both hands. Both hands. And we are going to just relax. Okay, come onto our toes. We're going to come straight off and we're going to do Uttanasana. Okay, so just come onto our toes. Now, in this practice, I want you to be really careful because you're not actually going to be able to see what I'm doing with your head onto the floor. So if you just stay on your knees for me and just be nice and comfortable, roll those shoulders back because actually this area is a part we're going to be compressing. Shoulder mobility is very important, okay? Shoulder, neck, this whole region, yeah, controls everything. So we want to make sure it's nice and strong. Okay, now what we're essentially going to be doing is we're actually going to be rolling on our heads almost in Shashankasana. So if you just watch me first, but we're actually going to be doing something with our hands behind. Now, any hypertension, any blood pressure or migraine, I want you to have a go at doing the same posture again that I did like this. Okay, and those of us that we did earlier, and those of us who are able to, we're going to have a go at doing Uttanasana, but we're going to do it in another position. Normally Uttanasana is done standing up. But today we're going to do it rolling on our head. This is very important that we focus on the knees, because at no point there should be any weight on our head. Okay, so let's finish with our penultimate pose. Okay, so if you just watch me first, you can see that my head is on the ground, and what I'm doing is I'm just rolling. Okay, I'm rolling, and as I'm rolling, I'm bringing my legs in, and I'm nice and relaxed. Yeah, right now there's no weight on my head. All of the weight is on my knees. Okay, all of it's on my knees, and I'm going to interlock my hands, and I'm going to turn them outwards. Okay, and then what I'm going to attempt to do is just let my arms fall forward. Okay, let them fall forward, and what I'm then going to do is I'm actually going to roll back. I'm going to roll back and then leave those arms up in the air. Yeah, so making sure that we're being very careful and not looking at my hands and thinking, oh gosh, I can't get them up that far. That's not the way to go. Okay, we really don't want to be overthinking, especially with our heads facing down. We want to do what we can, and you can see that I was higher, and then when I got into position with my hands, I then rolled back and relaxed, so then I could really feel that stretch. So let's have a go at doing this together. Okay, place those arms on the floor and just roll onto the crown of your head. Try and bring your knees a little bit closer in, and again, everything is nice and relaxed. You've got a light, very, very light pressure on the head. Yep, nice and slowly. Take your hands off and interlock them behind lightly and turn them outwards. Okay, and then nice and slowly, just let your arms fall forward. Yeah, let them fall forward. Now, doing this is opening up all of the shoulder blades, and then as I exhale, I'm actually going to try and bring my forehead and my nose onto the floor. Okay, and if you're holding your arms up with pressure, this is going to be a little bit difficult for you guys, a little bit difficult. So I want you to really just let those arms go. Yeah, really let those arms go. Okay, really just enjoy whatever those arms are doing. Take a nice deep breath in, and then putting all the weight onto your knees. I want you to roll back on the crown of your head. Okay, really enjoy that. Do this with a nice light smile. All the weight is on your knees, and nice and slowly you're going to just bring that head up and bring those arms down, and just take a moment to relax those shoulders, which if we did this correctly should feel really, really nice. Okay, so just take a nice deep breath in and out. And then nice and calmly, just lying down on our front with our legs apart. Okay, finishing with Makarasana, another one of my favorite poses, crocodile poses. Okay, you can see how I'm sitting. My pelvis is lightly pushing against the ground, my feet are facing out, and if you're not able to get your ankles to face out, that's fine. Just the wider you open your ankles, the better you'll be able to do at this, okay? So what we're going to do is nice and calmly just keep that chest up, keep that chin up, and if just lifting those elbows up is enough for you, then have a go at just staying there, that's fine. Okay, and if at any point you want to adjust, please do. Any sciatica, slip discs, lower back pain, please be very careful. In fact, I think maybe if you just stay here and just lift your head as far back as you can, that's more than enough stretch, yeah? And anyone else that is having a go with the full version, push your elbows off the floor and imagine somebody's folding you like a napkin, yeah? So you can see, yeah, with my spine, if I edge myself back, I'm actually at a 90-degree fold. Now we may not get there yet, but we do eventually, yeah? Really, really go for it. We're toning the lower spine. My shoulders are really relaxed. That's the golden rule. Shoulders are really, really relaxed, okay? And we're going to try and take one hand off. And while we do that, we want to make sure we're not tilting the weight. So nice and slowly, we'll start with our left hand. So left hand just comes up slightly off the floor. And if this is enough for you, then by all means, stay there. And if you want to carry on going further and further, then try and get up to that 90 angle, okay? And it's about keeping those shoulders nice and relaxed, looking up, Smiling faces, happy crocodiles. And as you exhale, you bring that down. Keep that overlap in your hips there, and then we're going to try the other side. Try and observe which one you're better on as well. Okay, and really just go for it. Even if this is as far as you can go, what matters is you're really going for that push. Okay, and take your time and doing what you can and edging yourself all the way up, strengthening that pelvis region and coming all the way down as you exhale. And just bringing those hands further down and now just taking your feet off. So now, as you take your feet off, my abdomen, my diaphragm is on the floor, my chest is up, I've made a triangle with my hands and I'm really pushing my pelvic bone onto the floor there. And I'm just going to exhale and relax. Palm on top of palm, head down, eyes closed. Take a nice deep breath in. And we'll finish with our heads down, foreheads on the back of our palms. We'll finish with the Ma card, okay, just humming. And as you chant Ma, the vibrations are going to be felt in your head region, especially with your head facing down. So nice and calmly, we'll do 3 humming sounds and keep that tongue nice and relaxed. Inhale. Once we finish, just nice and calmly, without opening the eyes, without any sudden movements, just lift your head up and just take a little stretch back in Balasana. Let your head touch the floor and come all the way up to a nice calm sitting position of your choice. Shoulders back, chin up, chest up. Taking a nice big namaskar, gathering all of the energy and holding the palms joint in front of our chest, finishing with our final mantra. Sarve bhavantu sukhinaha, sarve santu niramaya, bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Let's all be happy. Let's all be healthy. Let's all see the good in others. Let us all be without any pain or illness. And may we all have peace, peace, and peace. Relaxing those hands, taking a nice deep breath in, chin up, chest up, and starting to rub those palms together, round circular motions, slowly awakening the body, cupping the eyes first of all. Open the eyes inside the dark, feel the eyelashes, and with every blink, no squinting, we're just palming the forehead and all the way stretching up, up, up. Nice big namaskar, extending nice and high. Come on guys, show me some teeth. We can do better than that. And then as we exhale, remembering to think positive and speak positive and feel positive. Thank you very much for joining in. I hope you enjoyed the session, and I do really urge, keep trying, keep the bodies mobile. If they're mobile, only then can they get flexible. We can't expect to do this overnight. But well done for today, and tune in next week for another exciting session. Namaste.